शुक्लां वरदरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay. So we were looking at Padma Purana last time, and in the Padma Purana the section that was going on was talking about the stories from the Ramayana. So we saw how after Rama returned from Vanavasa, those who have not maybe attended the previous sessions, you can listen to the previous audios that are there. You have the entire playlist of Puranas. So finally, after Rama returns to Ayodhya, Bharata, as usual, he feels very guilty because of the wrongdoings that were done by his mother, and he asked for the forgiveness of Rama. He cried a lot. He could not be consoled. So Rama tries his best to console Bharata and tells Bharata that it's not anyone's fault at all. It's not your mother Kaikeyi's fault or anyone's fault. So you don't curse yourself. It's just pure destiny that I had to go to Vanavasa. I had some purpose behind it. I had to kill asuras like Ravana, Kumbhakarna, Khara, Dushana, and so on. I got an opportunity for satsangam to meet a lot of people. So finally, so this is something which was written in my destiny, so it had to happen. So don't curse yourself. Saying this, so then Rama meets Bharata, and finally Bharata also he boards the Pushpaka Vimana. So the meeting of Rama and Bharata took place in Nandigram, where Bharata was waiting for 14 years for Rama to return. Ultimately, both of them he also climbs into the Pushpaka Vimana. They go to Ayodhya. Now, this conversation is taking place Sheshanaga. Sheshanaga tells about the stories of Rama in the Padma Purana. This reference comes, and Sheshanaga mainly he talks about the not the entire story of Ramayana. Mainly, he talks about the stories that have taken place after Rama's arrival to Ayodhya. So, after killing Ravana, what happens when he returns to Ayodhya, how he meets Bharata. So, that is the main subject matter that is covered in the Padma Purana. So, further, Rama and Sita they get down from the Pushpak Vimana. First of all, Rama goes and meets Kaikeyi. She was full of guilt, but still he goes and meets the youngest mother Kaikeyi. Then further, he meets Sumitra, and lastly, he meets his own mother Kaushalya. Finally, then Bharata immediately tells that there should be no delay without any more problems and obstacles that come in our way. Let us fix an auspicious occasion for the coronation of Rama. So he calls the astrologers, the priest, and so on. Thus, finally, the Rajyabhisheka took place. Rama became the king of Ayodhya. And as usual in Rama Raja, there was peace and prosperity everywhere. People were virtuous. No papa, nothing was being done, no wrongdoings. Everyone, all the subjects were happy. Rama also was a very great ruler. Now, finally, uh, now, the Padma Purana talks about the Uttarakhanda of Ramayana. Uttarakhanda, that is the story of Lavakusha, how Sita was abandoned, and so on. So, everything was peaceful when suddenly, one fine day, here you have the story of the washerman. That is the washerman, how he left his wife, and that's how he, because he felt that she had stayed. Now, the story behind this is the washerman's wife had lived, because now in those times whenever travel used to take place we had to travel over long distances on foot, that is there. So there was no means of easy transport. You had a vehicle or so you can come quickly. Such means were not there in those times. So what used to happen is people used to travel long distances. So one fine day at night it became late, so the lady, that is the washerman's wife, had stopped somewhere in some random person's house wherein we can some shelter was being provided to her. So knowing this, the washerman he got very angry, saying that you have stayed, you have spent the night somewhere else, so therefore you should not live here at all. So I'm abandoning you, and so on. And in those times, the society was that when woman used to be abandoned, she did not have any other place to go. The society used to shun her, and so on. So therefore, she cried to Lord Rama, and Rama at that time he gave her justice, and he she came and cried to her, and so on. And finally, uh, all such things were being done, and after this, again, Rama also had to abandon Sita because though Rama gave justice to the washerman's wife, somehow, but still it so happened that when he actually wanted to give justice to the washerman's wife, but it seems that when she came to cry out for justice, Rama, she could not do that because she had come, but then ultimately she did not go and tell Rama anything. She just went away from the place. Where she went, what she went, Rama tried a lot to find her whereabouts, and so on, but he could not get any information. So that's how ultimately nothing worked there. And then Rama also later, as the story goes, Sita had to go to the forest and so on. So at this time, what happens is once sage Agastya comes to the court of Rama and he questions Rama. He tells, "Who was Ravana? You killed Ravana, right? So who was he? Can you just tell me something about him?" and so on. So, uh, so here you have the story of Ravana that is mentioned in the Padma Purana. So Rama, he starts the story. He says that Ravana, he was actually uh, someone, a great demon who was killed by me because he abducted my wife Sita. But he tells Agastya that now here it's not that Rama did not know more about Ravana, but he wanted to give a lot of respect to sage Agastya, and he knew that Agastya already knows about Ravana, but just that through the mouth of Rama he wanted to hear about Ravana. So then Rama also very smartly he says, "No, through your mouth only you tell us about Ravana." And at that time Rama asks Agastya that who was Ravana and so on, what was his origin, who was his family, who were his ancestors, and so on. So sage Agastya starts. He says Vishrava was a grandson of Lord Brahma, and Vishrava had two wives. So, and Vishrava's father was Pulastya. So basically, Ravana belongs to the Pulastya Kula, or the family dynasty, Vamsha of Pulastya. So Brahma, Pulastya, Vishrava. Then Vishrava had two wives, Mandakini and Kaikashi. Mandakini's son was Kubera, while Kaikasi was the mother of Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana. Now, Kaikasi, she belonged to the Asura clan. So that's the reason Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishana were demons. Kubera, he ruled over Lanka, and once when Kubera only had the riches, the Pushpaka Vimana, and everything. So once he had come to Lanka, when he was going about on his Pushpaka Vimana, Ravana, looking at him, he felt very jealous, and he felt that I should also enjoy all this riches. I should also have this Pushpaka Vimana, and so on. So now Kubera at that time, sorry, Ravana at that time did not know about Kubera. So he goes and asks his mother Kaikasi, who is this fellow, and from where has he got this amazing Pushpaka Vimana, a lot of riches, and so on. So Kaikasi told him that he is none but your own step brother or cousin brother Kubera, and he is the son of your stepmother Mandakini. And at that time, Kaikasi, now basically, if you see, Kaikasi's one statement is something which actually turned the life of Ravana. So basically, there, Kaikasi, the mother of Ravana, she makes statement that he has made, that is, Kubera has made his mother proud by doing a lot of good things, by acquiring Lanka, by acquiring the Pushpaka Vimana, lot of gold, riches, and so on. And look at you, you have not done anything. You are no better than a small worm, WORM. That is, worm is almost useless. Useless in the sense it's of no use, right? Today it is there, the next minute it might just die away. So you are equal to that. This is something which pricked Ravana from within, and he was instantly, he said, "No, now I'm going to show you what I am actually." Until then, everything was good. But then this statement of Kaikasi actually changed the life of Ravana. Further, Ravana, he said that he decided to prove his mother wrong, said that what you're saying is not at all true. He went to the forest, he performed penance, tapasya for thousands of years, on one foot it seems, for 10,000 years. And once it so, and his tapasya was Ghora tapasya, very severe. He used to look at the sun continuously without now. Even for a few seconds, we cannot look at the sun, right? But Ravana had the power. He used to look at the sun continuously and do tapasya. Kumbhakarna, Vibhishana, his brothers also engaged themselves in tapasya. Finally, Brahma comes and blessed Ravana with a vast kingdom. Ravana then he got power. Obviously, when someone is in power, people start showing their true colors, right? So similarly, Ravana also, what he did is he snatched Kubera's property, threw him out of Lanka, took the Pushpaka Vimana, riches, gold, everything. Finally, Ravana also started troubling his brother Kumbhakarna, saying that you also do tapasya, you also acquire powers, and so on. Finally, Ravana then he destroyed the deities, he drove them out of heaven. The deities they all went and uh, sought the help of Brahma. Brahma finally told them that you go and approach Shiva. Shiva told, I don't know what has to happen. Ultimately, all of them go to Lord Vishnu and take his help. At that time, Vishnu tells. Now, all this story, Agastya is telling Rama. So then Vishnu tells that I shall take incarnation at Rama in a place called Ayodhya. Ayodhya currently is being ruled by Dashratha, who does not have children, so I will manifest as Rama. Vishnu assures all the gods that don't worry. And with this, Agastya tells Rama that Ravana belonged to a caste called Brahma Rakshasa. And this way, sage Agastya, he finished his entire story and he looked at Rama. So why now here you might have a question. Rama does not know about his own identity? Why should Agastya come and tell that you are actually an incarnation of Vishnu? Now here, Rama is a Naravatar, meaning a man. So he has almost forgotten everything. Let us consider or rather than saying forgotten, it will be like he will not reveal such things. Now, if a normal human being like us, say for example, we do not know who we were in our previous birth, right? Or what is going to happen tomorrow, we cannot predict. We are not aware of anything. Present life, okay. Past, whatever has happened in this current birth, we remember a few things that also in the course of time we do forget. Now, what I did yesterday, what even I ate in the morning, sometimes people end up forgetting, right? So such things might happen. So this is human nature. So Rama at many places he stuck to his human nature. He did not want to reveal his divine form. So you can put it that way. That is the reason when Agastya told about the lineage of Ravana, Rama also listened to him very patiently. Further, you have the Ashwamedha sacrifice story that is there. Rama does the Ashwamedha sacrifice. He lets loose a white horse, and as usual, the horse was decorated with a lot of good clothes and so on. And at that time, wherever the horse, as per the rules of the Ashwamedha sacrifice, wherever the horse went, the soldiers used to follow it. Finally, uh, Shatrughna also followed the horse. Bharata followed, and a huge army was also following the horse. So, like this, there were different people who were following it. Finally, some of the kings, obviously, now Ashwamedha sacrifice when it takes place, many kings come and try to destroy. So at that time, few kings come and they try to destroy, stop the horse. But Shatrughna was there. Shatrughna, he defeated all the kings who came his way. And this way, the horse continued to move ahead without any problem till it reaches the bank of river Ganga. At that time, Lava, the son of Rama, he notices this horse. He goes near it and then he gets hold of the horse. Now, Lava and Kusha both were great warriors, and the soldiers come, they try to release the horse, but of no avail. Lava is using all of them, he tied their arms and so on. Finally, they return to Shatrughna, and the soldiers tell that a small boy is stopping us. So Shatrughna got very angry, saying that I have defeated so many kings. What these people are saying that these soldiers are injured, their arms have been cut off, it has been tied, and what is this? Some A small child is doing this, so he gets very angry, and he instructs his army. Army head was called Kalanemi. He instructs Kalanemi that you go and teach this boy Lava a lesson. Now at this time, only Lava was present, Kusha was not present. So Kalanemi, he went in front of Lava with a huge army, and you can say a very ferocious battle took place between both of them. Lava, the small boy, somehow managed to kill Kalanemi. Now the army got very afraid. Our leader, our commander is dead, now what to do? But they also were very afraid. They fled. They ran away from there. Shatrughna then ordered another person called Pushkala to fight. He also became unconscious after Lava hit an arrow on him. Now Shatrughna's anger had no limits. He ordered Hanuman finally that he go and kill this Lava. Hanuman also did not know about Lava. He took a huge tree and he threw it about Lava. But Lava, it seems that he cut it into 100 pieces. So here Padma Purana also highlights about the valor of the sons of Rama, Lava especially. Then Lava, he released many arrows in different directions. Somehow Hanuman also fell down unconscious. Finally, now when Shatrughna learned that even Hanuman also has fought, he has also fallen, he said, now let me only go and fight. But finally he saw. Now everyone, by listening to all this, everyone was thinking that Lava is going to be, you can say, a very great Rakshasa or a very great warrior. He was a small boy. So Shatrughna was surprised. This small boy has done so much. So firstly, Shatrughna questions. He says, who are you? Who's your father? And so on. You tell me something about yourself. Shatrughna, Lava was not interested. He said, you have come here to secure your horse. I'm not going to leave it. If you want to fight with me, don't ask me irrelevant questions. He says, first you fight with me, I challenge you. Shatrughna was left with no option, but he had to fight. So again, a battle took place between both. Shatrughna released a lot of arrows. Lava had an answer. He used to also uh, release a lot of arrows. Ultimately, Shatrughna also falls down unconscious. He also becomes unconscious, and after some time, it seems that he aimed a lot of, you can say, deadly weapons towards Lava. And now, Lava, because the weapon was very deadly, Lava now falls down unconscious. And at that time, a few friends of Lava who are there, they go and inform Sita. Kusha now, he comes forward to fight against Rama's enemy, Rama's army, Shatrughna. When he reaches the battlefield, he saw Lava there. At that time, Lava had also regained his consciousness, and somehow, after seeing Kusha, Lava also frees himself. Now, both the brothers, Lava and Kusha, they fight with the enemy. Now, the entire army, because all of them had fallen unconscious, they had got hurt, lot of injuries, they started running, helter skelter here and there, they started running. And it did not take much time for the two brothers, Lava and Kusha, to defeat the army. Hanuman, Sugriva, Pushkala was a army commander, Angada, Veeramani, even Shatrughna. These were all Veeramani, Pushkala were commanders of the army, and Shatrughna, Hanuman, Sugriva, and so on, they were all held captive by these boys or they were injured. Now, finally, Hanuman and Sugriva were tied with ropes, it seems, and and now here you have a different story of you can say or a different version of the Ramayana. As per the Padma Purana, it is mentioned that both Hanuman and Sugriva were taken to Sita. Sita immediately recognizes Hanuman and Sugriva, and she tells both the sons that you leave them free and the horse also. Lava and Kusha, they listen to the instructions of their mother and release everyone. Sita then whispers that may all the dead soldiers become alive. She prays. Her words come true. Those soldiers who had died or suffered from some injuries, all of that becomes fine. Shatrughna also regains his consciousness. Now, this story that is there, that is the meeting of Hanuman and Sugriva and Sita, that is not there in the original Valmiki Ramayana. Padma Purana has this reference. So, an interesting aspect of the Ramayana. Now, finally, Shatrughna, he decides that let me return back to Ayodhya. And Sri Rama then asks, who are these two boys and so on. And here, directly, what he instructs now, before that, Shatrughna, he instructs a person called Sumati. He was a commander in chief. He says that uh, there are a lot of armies, defeated kings, and everything. You bring them back. I came ahead because I could not bear to see everyone in danger. So I came little ahead so that there'll be no more injuries that are being caused. But you ensure that all the army is brought about safely. And then Sri Rama came to know about this. He sent Lakshmana that you go and see what has happened. And Sri Rama then curiously asked Sumati, the person to whom Shatrughna had revealed everything, what had happened, exactly has happened, and so on. Sumati tells him the entire story, and then he talks about these two boys, Lava and Kusha, and how even mighty warriors, Hanuman, and so on, have been defeated. At that time, it seems that sage Valmiki he was present in Ayodhya to attend the Ashwamedha sacrifice. Rama had invited many sages, right? So Rama, at that time, Rama he asked about the identity of the two children. Who are these two children, Lava and Kusha? And okay, just 2 minutes. I think my Wi-Fi is a little slow. I'll just come. Just a minute. So Valmiki was present as usual. Rama had invited a lot of sages. Valmiki was also a part of that. And when he inquires about Lava and Kusha, at that time Valmiki he narrates that they are actually your children. So when you had abandoned her, Sita was actually pregnant. She came to my hermitage. She gave birth to these two twin boys, Lava and Kusha. They were brought up in my hermitage. They were given shiksha, this that. I taught them all the scriptures, sacred texts. Taught them to master various weapons. So Lava and Kusha are ultimately your sons. So now you must bring back Sita to Ayodhya because she is pure and moreover your army also has been defeated by these boys. Now listening to all this, Sri Rama's heart was filled with a lot of grief. He tells Lakshmana, you go and bring Sita along with Lava and Kusha. Lakshmana, he goes to Valmiki's ashrama, brings back Sita. Sita refuses to return, but she sends Lava and Kusha with Lakshmana. And when Sri Rama, he finds that only Lava and Kusha have returned, he once again he tells Lakshmana, "You go and bring Sita." Lakshmana again goes for the second time, and here what it so now here again this is a different version as per the original Valmiki Ramayana. We know the story that is there. Sita only she comes and then all three of them they come. Lava and Kusha they sing the story first. That's how they reveal that we are actually your sons. And then Sita also comes later. She goes to Patada. So we don't have this reference of Lakshmana going and bringing back Sita, but still this reference is or this version of Ramayana is mentioned in the Padma Purana. So finally, Lakshmana goes for the second time to bring them. Meanwhile, Sri Rama he tells uh, that sorry, Valmiki he instructs Lava and Kusha that you sing the praise of Rama, you sing his entire story and so on. And while they do that, everyone becomes you can say very emotional and very happy. Sri Rama accepts Lava and Kusha, and the holy now finally the Ashwamedha sacrifice takes place. The holy water of Sarayu was bought, it was sprinkled, the yaga was being performed, and it seems that the horse which was running here and there, Sri Rama touched that horse with his hands, and the horse actually turned into a human being, it seems, and it was something which is very amazing. And then Sri Rama asked, "Who are you?" and so on. At that time, the man he tells that due to a curse of sage Durvasa, I had turned myself into a horse, and he had told me that whenever Rama touches you, you will regain back your original human form. Having said this, the man went to Swargaloka. In the course of time, again, Sri Rama did two more Ashwamedha sacrifices. That's how he gained glory all over the world. So these are a few stories of the Ramayana which are there in the Padma Purana with some, you can say, different minor versions, different versions that are there. Next, you have the story of Badrikashrama. Now, the next khanda, you can say, next khanda of the Padma Purana, Uttarakhanda. The first chapter in this chapter in all has got about 23 sections. Out of that, the first chapter, mainly, first part, mainly highlights about Badrikashrama. Now, Puranas, when we see, it is actually a conversation that is taking place between sages. So Suta sage, he tells the story, which once Lord Shiva had originally told to sage Narada. The same story now Suta is telling a group of assembled sages. So he tells that once Shiva told Narada that altogether, if there are 1,25,000 mountains, it seems 1,25,000 mountains. Out of that, Badrikashrama, that is a Himalayan mountain on which the Badrikashrama Dham is situated, that is said to be supreme amongst all. And further, but because Badrikashrama is abode of Lord Nara and Narayana, Narayana, origin of all creations, all this Shiva is telling Narada. So he is eternal Purusha and so on. He is worshipped by people during the Uttarayana Kala. And in Badrikashrama, because it is covered with snow during the period of Dakshinayana, that is now at least if you see, I think from November till roughly March or so, the Kedarnath, Badrinath, these dhams are actually closed. But roughly, if you consider Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, Uttarayana for 6 months of the year is uh, light that is there, or summer months, and the next 6 months is usually darkness. So therefore, as per the Hindu calendar, if you check, it is from April till that is from the month of Chaitra till the 6 months, and the next 6 months the temple remains closed. So this Shiva tells that because, so basically Narayana they worship during the first part of the year, and all the deities they dwell there. It seems in Badrikashrama, the sages also live there. River Alaknanda, it flows at Badrikashrama, and anyone who takes a dip in this holy river, they'll be freed from all sins. Now, how river Ganga was brought down to earth, that story also Lord Shiva he tells Narada. So King Bhagiratha, he was the main person for bringing. That's how Ganga gets another name of Bhagirathi. So sage Bhagiratha, he wanted to liberate his ancestors from the curse of sage Kapila, and King Sagara, he came. He was his ancestor. Sagara had two queens. Elder queen had 60,000 sons. Younger queen had one son, and his son was Amshuman, who was the father of Dilipa. So the younger queen had one son, Panchajana. Panchajana had one son, Anshuman, who was the father of Dilipa, Bhagiratha, and so on. That's how the lineage of Ikshvaku. These are Bhagiratha, Sagara, they are all the ancestors of Rama. Bhagira, he did penance for about 10,000 years. Finally, river Ganga descends on the earth. So Shiva is telling this to Narada. So Shiva tells, I, because her flow, the entire earth would be drowned. So what I did is I held Shiva in my jatha, in my locks of hair, and she remained there for about 10,000 years. At that time, again, Bhagiratha, he comes and he requests me that you release Ganga so that my ancestors can be liberated. I agreed. Finally, I slowly started releasing Ganga on earth. That's when Bhagiratha, he took her to Patal Loka, where his ancestors' ashes were there, and he sprinkled the river Ganga on all the ashes. From that is how the tradition of sprinkling Ganga Jalam has started. Finally, Ganga, after going to Patal Loka, he came back to Haridwar, which is again considered to be a most sacred place of pilgrimage. So, and from there you have the Badrikashrama or the Badridham Yatra that starts. So, this is the glory of Badrikashrama told by Lord Shiva to Narada. Next, you have Shanishchara Stotram composed by Dasharatha. This is a part of Padma Purana. So, this stotra, I'll just tell you one shloka from that. कोणोऽन्तको रौद्रयमोत बभ्रुः कृष्णः शनिः पिङ्गलमन्दसौरिः नित्यं स्मृतो यो हरते च पीडां तस्मै नमः श्रीरविनन्दनाय. Like this, there are many shlokas. So Shanaishvara has got not many stotras, but one famous, quite popular stotra in place of Shani Bhagwan is composed by Lord Dasharatha. I just chanted one verse now. If you want, you all can search later. Shanishchara Stotram, Dasharatha Krita Shanishchara Stotram. That is a part of Padma Purana. So what happens is, Narada next he questions Shiva, how is Shani considered to be a very dangerous planet, or why do people fear Shani and so on. At that time, Mahadeva, Lord Shiva, he gives an answer. He says Shani is extremely violent. His nature is very violent, and everybody is scared of this planet. So once it so happened that um, the astrologer of Dasharatha, he told Dasharatha that now little uh, troubles might come in your life because Shani is entering Rohini Nakshatra and so on. So as per astrology, it is little, it's a difficult phase for you. He warned him, saying that you might have to face few problems and so on. So if this Shani is not prevented from entering your nakshatra, then there would be famine for 12 years and so on. So all this were the predictions of the astrologer. So Dasharatha at that time, it seems that Dasharatha, so his chariot used to go in all the 10 directions, Rama's father Dasharatha. So he went above the sky, it seems, and he prayed to Lord Shani, saying that you please control your powers, you don't enter my constellation, that is the Nakshatra and Rohini, so that famine and such dangerous situations will not take place. Shani became very terrified, it seems, on looking at Dasharatha, and he expressed, he agreed, saying that I will not do that. And that is when Dasharatha had composed this Shani Pida Stotram to be free from Shani Pida. Next, qualities of the devotee of Lord Vishnu has been highlighted in the Padma Purana. All this again, Lord Shiva, he tells Narada. He says one who has a lot of devotion on Vishnu is called Vaishnava. So Vaishnavite or devotees of Lord Vishnu are kind, truthful, forgiving. They are well versed in the Vedas, Puranas. They will always wear a tulsi mala around their neck. They will apply a tilaka and so on. So like this, Vishnu Bhakta is always known for praising Lord Vishnu. And it seems that feeding a Vaishnava, that is a Vishnu devotee, is equal to feeding a lot of Brahmins and priests. Further, you have the story of Indraprastha. So these were the topics that were the conversation that was held between Shiva and Narada. Next, with this, the topic ends. Next, Sutta talks about the city of Indraprastha. Indraprastha, the capital of Yudhishthira, the Pandavas. So the sages they inquire Sutta. He tells that which is the holiest city on the banks of Yamuna. On the banks of Ganga, we know that there are a lot of pilgrimage places. What about the bank of Yamuna? Apart from Yamunotri, is there some other place? So Indraprastha is one place, which was the capital of the Pandavas. So Sutta she narrates the tale wherein once sage Saubhari, there was a sage called Saubhari, he had told Yudhishthira that, so a story that is there. Sutta is telling the story which was told by sage Saubhari to Yudhishthira. So it's Narada and Parvata. Now here when I say Parvata, it is Himalayas, Himavan. They were traveling through the aerial path through the Himalayas, and they saw the beautiful sight of Yamuna there, and they decided to take rest. Now usually we also do it whenever there is some good place near a river or maybe good scenery, trees and so on, we like to spend time. So the same thing, this sage Narada and Parvata, they decided to do that, and both of them they entered river Yamuna to take a bath. At that time there was the king who ruled nearby, and he saw them. So the name of the king was Shibi. So when Narada and Parvata they took a bath and they came out of Yamuna, they found that King Shibi was waiting for them, and both of them they spoke. They met each other, and they saw a lot of Havan Kundas. Havan Kundas is sacrificial altars that were kept everywhere. And King Shibi asked that from where has all this come? I have not seen this. I'm living here. My capital is nearby, but still I've never seen so many Havan Kundas. What is the significance here? So Narada at that time replied that during ancient times, Indra had performed a lot of yajnas at this place to pay gratitude to Lord Vishnu. And that's the reason here he had done this during the Narsimha Avatara time, where to pray to the Lord to manifest himself in the form of Narsimha in order to kill Hiranyakashipu. So at that time, this place became famous as Indraprastha, and a lot of yajnas were being done. That's how you have a lot of Havan Kundas here. And this place is holier than all the holy places combined together. Indraprastha, the numerical measurement is also mentioned, to spread about in one yojana by 4 yojanas. So that is the length and breadth that has been told of this place, Indraprastha. And later it became, so sage Saubari had told this to Yudhishthira when Yudhishthira became the ruler of this place, Indraprastha. Next, talking about the greatness of Vaikuntham. So Sutta continues that once Lord Shiva and Parvati, they have a conversation about Vaikuntham. The same conversation I'll tell you. So Sudha, when he talks about different things, he is actually talking about conversations that have been spoken by two people per week. So Lord Shiva and Parvati, they have, okay, before this, Till here, is everyone following? Yes? Yeah? Okay. So Lord Shiva and Parvati, they have a conversation. In Lord Shiva, he tells Parvati that a person who has total devotion, lot of bhakti in Vishnu, he will attain Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha is abode of Lord Vishnu, and the central part of Vaikuntha is called Ayodhya. There are a lot of Dwarapalas, Jaya, Vijaya, Subhadra, Bhadra, and so on like this. Vaikuntha has got a lot of divine people coming in. Then you have Nantapuri, the main part, the central part of Lord Vishnu. Lot of celestial beings, Apsaras come there. Other gods come, Agni, Surya, Chandra, they all are there around the center of Vishnu's throne and so on. So he then a beautiful lotus flower is there, the consort of Vishnu, goddess Mahalakshmi is present, and so on. So like this, the description of Vishnu, the Kaustubamani, the Pitambaram, all this Lord Shiva tells Parvati. Then further, Parvati, she expresses a desire that I want to know about the incarnations of Lord Vishnu. So you tell me something about that. You told me about the place of Vaikuntham. Now next you tell me something about Lord Vishnu, his incarnations. So Parvati, Shiva tells that Lord Brahma, he had lot of Manasa Putras, many sages. He had also created numerous Prajapatis, Brigu, Marichi, Atri, Daksha, and so on. And sage Kashyapa, Marichi was the father of Kashyapa. Kashyapa had four wives: Aditi, Diti, Kadru, Vinata. Aditi, mother of gods; Diti, demons, mother of demons; and Kadru is the mother of snakes, and Vinata is the mother of Garuda, that is birds. And bird, to be very specific, Garuda. And this, but there was one demon called Makara. And, he had acquired the Vedas from Lord Brahma and hid himself inside an ocean. And Lord Brahma, he requested Vishnu to liberate the Vedas. That's when the Lord took a Matsya Avatara form. Next is Durvasa. So this is one story. Once it so happened that Durvasa sage, he was the son of sage Atri. And once this Durvasa, he went to Indra Loka to see Indra. At that time, Indra was a bit busy. He was planning to go out somewhere. And Durvasa, he presented a garland of Parijata flowers to Indra. Now, Indra was a bit busy. He was not aware of what he was doing. So, he carelessly he put the garland that he got from Durvasa on the forehead of his elephant Airavata. Now, elephant, it doesn't know that it's a garland and so on. So, it just trampled the garland under his feet. So Durvasa saw this, he became very angry. First of all, I gave you the garland, you did not use it, you put it around your elephant's neck. Now also it has also trampled it, and he cursed Indra, saying that whatever prosperity you have gotten, very shortly you are going to lose all of that and you're going to become a pauper very soon. Durvasa's words came to be true. Indra found that not only heaven but all the three worlds had become, you can say, free from the grace of goddess Mahalakshmi. That is, prosperity vanished and there was only poverty, daridrata everywhere. Deities became very worried. They go to Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma tells go to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu, when they prayed to him, they said, I will take an incarnation as Kurma. You churn the ocean with the help of the Mandara mountain. Let the Vasuki be your churning rope, and at that time, Goddess Mahalakshmi, she will manifest herself through the ocean, and I shall be the support that is there. I shall hold the Mandara mountain on my back, and this is how the Samudra Manthana story takes place. So that is the Kshira Sagara Manthana, second avatara, Kurma avatara. Next, you have many things that come out of the Samudra: the elephant, Airavata, Uchchaishtava, Dhanvantari, Surabhi, Parijata. So Airavata elephant, it had initially it was there, it put the garland under its feet and so on. Later Indra even lost that elephant also. So again it also came out through the oceans. Like this, many gems came out. That's how the world was blessed with prosperity. Next, Shiva continues to tell, he talks about the incarnation of Narasimha, how Narasimha took an incarnation to protect his devotee Prahlada and to kill the demon Hiranyakashipu. Finally, you have the story of Vamanavatara. Vamanavatara, how Vamana came in the form of a small dwarf boy in order to uh, subdue, or you can say to show Mahabali a lesson, to teach Mahabali a lesson, to bring down his pride. He took a huge form of Trivikrama. He asked for three pieces of land: heaven, earth, and Patala. Next, Ramavatara. Ramavatara, because uh, Dharma, there was a need to kill asuras like Ravana, Kumbhakarna, and so on, who were tormenting the worlds. At that time, Rama Avatara takes place. Then again, you have the stories of Rama that has been mentioned here. So ultimately, Rama's birth took place on the Chaitra. Chaitre Navamike Tithau on the in the month of Chaitra Navamika in the on the Navami Tithi. So Lord Shiva he again continues to tell the story of Rama. He tells that let the Jata Karma Samskara be done for Sri Rama. uh, Dasharatha he requests his sage Vasishtha, you do the Jata Karma for Rama. In the course of time, Kaikeyi gave birth to Bharata, who was an incarnation of the conch, Shankha. Sumitra gave birth to two sons, Lakshmana Sugriva, Lakshmana Shatrugna. Lakshmana incarnation of Sheshanaga, Shatrugna incarnation of Sudarshana Chakra. That's how they got a lot of education together. Lakshmana became close to Rama, Bharata became close to Shatrugna, and Sita she manifested herself from the field while Janaka was plowing it. So Janaka was not blessed with children for a long time. He brought up Sita. Later, a daughter was also born to him, Urmila. Finally, Vishwamitra comes, he takes the two boys along, and finally the marriage of Sita Swayamvara takes place. Sita Rama breaks Lord Shiva's bow, he marries Sita, Lakshmana marries Urmila, and at that time Bharata. Chanaka tells that there is my brother has also got two daughters, they can be married to Bharata and Shatrugna. Bharata marries Mandavi, Shatrugna marries Shrutakirti. Now, looking at all this Parashurama, so the gist of Ramayana has been told in short, I'm also telling you in short. So, all this Mahadeva, Lord Shiva is telling Parvati. So, Parshurama comes, he gets very angry at seeing someone has destroyed the bow and so on. He challenges Rama. Now you break this. Vishnu Dhanusham also. Rama does that. Parshurama goes away. Finally, Dashratha, he wanted to make Rama the king of Ayodhya. It doesn't happen. And so the entire story of Ramayana has been mentioned in detail. The meeting of Hanuman, the abduction of Sita, meeting with Sugriva, killing of Bali, then the Rama Ravana Yuddham, and finally Rama returns back to Ayodhya. And again the abduction of Sita, this also again has been told. Now finally what happened is towards the end, when Rama Avatara had to end, at that time Lakshmana became aware of his decision and he took Samadhi in the Sarayu river. And now again this is a different version. Lakshmana, when he got to know that Rama Avatara was coming to an end, now obviously Vishnu sleeps on the Sheshanaga, right? So Lakshmana is an incarnation of Sheshanaga. So if Rama Avatara is ending, he has to be present first. So ultimately Lakshmana had to go. Now, as per the original Valmiki Ramayanam reference, we have how Durvasa comes in, not Durvasa, sage comes in, who was actually Kala, time. And he tells that time period is done. He wanted to meet Rama and he makes a condition that nobody should listen to our conversation. So Rama calls personally, Lakshmana tells you wait at the door. At that time, properly says Durvasa comes, tells I want to meet Rama. Lakshmana says he is in a very important meeting, you cannot do that. Durvasa tells how dare you stop me, he gets very angry, saying that somehow you go inside, otherwise I will curse you this and that. Lakshmana could not bear and he had to go inside. And Rama, as per the promise that he had given to Kala, who had come there, that nobody should come inside, he tells that from this moment onwards, Rama, he tells Lakshmana, from this moment onwards, I abandon you, we will not have anything between us. And this was like death to Lakshmana. He tells, I don't want to live anymore. He goes to the Sarayu river and takes Samadhi. The story that I told you is as per original Valmiki Ramayana reference. But Padma Purana says that when Lakshmana gets to know that Rama Avatara is coming to an end, he himself takes Samadhi in the Sarayu river. Rama could not bear the separation of Lakshmana, so he also ultimately ends up. Before that, what he does is he appointed Lava and Kusha as the kings of Dwaravati and Kushavati. And then he decides to give up his life and go to Vaikuntham. And now Sarayu river, it seems that it flows at a distance of 3 yojanas from Ayodhya. This numerical value also has been given in the Padma Purana. So next you have the Krishnavatara stories that are there. So after Rama Avatara, next is Krishna Avatara, how Krishna's birth takes place. The entire Krishna Leela stories are mentioned. Killing of Kamsa, then Jarasandha, then the story of Rukmini Kalyanam, how uh, Rukmini was snatched, or you can say abducted by Krishna because she did not want to marry Shishupala. Then Sri Krishna's queens, how he ended up marrying the 16,000 queens who were held captive by Narakasura. Also, the mention of his 8 chief queens Satyabhama, Kalindi, Mitravinda, Jambavati, Rukmani, and so on that has been mentioned. Then, so a few stories of Sri Krishna, finally how he returns back to Dwaraka, and how Dwaraka comes to an end, how the Yadava Kula comes to an end. And then you also have the story of Krishna's grandson, Aniruddha, marrying Usha, who was the daughter of Banasura. Next, the decline of the Yadu dynasty. As per a curse that was given to the Yadavas, the Yadu dynasty had to end. So, now for this, I'll tell you this story. So, all this Shiva is telling Parvati. So, there was a king called Poundraka Vasudeva. Now, this Poundraka, he used to feel that he is like Krishna only. Sorry, he used to he used to dress like Krishna, he used to behave like Krishna, but ultimately he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva tells Parvati that this Paundraka Vasudeva, he also had he did penance for about 12 years to Lord Shiva. So he prays to Lord Shiva and he requested me. So Shiva is telling this. He tells that he requested me to make his appearance look same like Sri Krishna. I blessed him with that, and people became confused, saying who the real Krishna was. So and he felt very happy on this. And ultimately, what happens is Narada once comes to Kashi and he goes and tells Paundraka that what you're doing is actually wrong because people are getting cheated by you and so on. So like this, don't behave like this because some people are mistaking you for real Krishna. And at that time, Paundraka, he does not pay heed to what Narada tells. He goes to Dwaraka with a huge army and he challenges Krishna. See, Krishna at that time, he kills Paundraka, he cuts off his head with a Sudarshana Chakra. Jarasandha, he continues to trouble the Yadavas. Sri Krishna decides to settle the matter once and for all. Uh, he advises Bhima that you challenge Jarasandha. Jarasandha and Bhima they fight for 27 days, and at that time Krishna signals Bhima to tear Jarasandha's ties. Now, tearing of ties is usually done to only Duryodhana as per the Mahabharata story reference, but here Padma Purana has a different story. So in the you can say the original Krishna Leela stories, we have the fight between Krishna and Jarasandha only that took place for many days, and ultimately Krishna only killed Jarasandha. But here you have a different version. Then after the Mahabharata Yuddham had ended, Yudhishthira decided to perform a Rajasuya sacrifice at Indraprastha. Sri Krishna also went there. Shishupala was also present, and Shishupala had an old grudge with Krishna, and but what he had was if 100 times someone abuses, if he had abused Krishna, he will kill him. But somehow every time he used to count. And on the when 99 times used to take place, he used to stop. So Shishupala used to stop. But once it so happened that he forgot his counting. He did not notice the number. 100 times he ended up abusing Krishna. And as per the condition kept, Krishna cut off his head with his chakra. Then the killing of Dantavaktra also. Dantavaktra he was Asura who had attacked Mathura in order to avenge the death of Shishupala. A long battle took place, and Krishna ended up killing Dantavaktra also. Then you have the story of Sudama, and Pradyumna was the eldest son of Krishna, who was born through Rukmani. Now, in the Padma Purana, you have a reference that Krishna had about 1 crore sons from all the queens that he had. But please note one thing that the sons that are there, usually we know about Pradyumna, Samba, and so on. He had begetted sons only through his 8 chief queens, not the other 16,000 queens. This reference is directly there in the Mahabharata. So don't get confused. Padma Purana, does that mean that Krishna went into a relationship with all those 16,000 queens? It is not like that. He had just laid protection to those queens. He had only Ashtamahishis, 8 chief queens from whom he had begetted children. Then how come the Padma Purana mentions? So for this, one explanation can be there that most of the queens maybe they already had sons from their earlier partners, or maybe through Narakasura who had held them captive. So that's how they are considered to be Sri Krishna's sons also. But properly, if you say the sons of Sri Krishna are only through the Ashtamahishis, when Sri Krishna had accepted those 16,000 queens also as his queens. At that time, he had very clearly told them that I'm just giving you protection. Apart from that, there will be no relationship between us. Finally, you have the next story that is there is how Yadavas they brought about their own downfall. So once it so happened that a few Yadava boys they played a prank with sage Kanva. And they went to the bank of the river Narmada, where the sage Kanva was doing tapasya. Samba, that is the son of Krishna, he was one of those children, and he disguised himself as a pregnant woman, and by keeping a pestle inside his clothes. Now, all the Yadava children, they went near sage Kanva and said that now there is this pregnant lady who is there. Can you tell us when will she deliver a child? Sage Kanva, he got very angry. He said that because of this very pestle that you've kept inside, he came to know what was being done by the boys. He tells this will only bring about the end of your whole clan of Yadavas. All the children were scared. They go to Lord Krishna and tell their mistake. Sri Krishna tells them that you powder this pestle to such an extent and throw that it will not be visible at all, and let it be thrown into a pond. But that was not the end. Even after having this, it seems that around the pond there were a lot of reeds, small plants that were growing, and they had very sharp edges. A fish, it swallowed a part of that iron pestle. It was caught by a fowler, and who actually he used the iron piece from that fish. He fixed it on top of his arrow in order to, you can say, sharpen it. And in course of time, all the Yadavas they developed enmity among themselves. They killed each other with those sharp-edged reeds. And once Sri Krishna he was taking rest under a kalpa tree, the fowler who had actually used that iron piece, he took the pink foot of Sri Krishna to be the feet to be an eye of a deer and pierced it with his arrow. So as per the story and the condition, Krishna also was a Yadava. He too had to be killed by this iron piece only, and he pierced it with his arrow. When the fowler he came at the spot, he found Krishna in an injured condition. Fowler did not know. He regretted. He begged Krishna's pardon. Krishna said, "No problem. You have not committed any crime. This is how his destiny." At that time, Daruka comes there on his chariot. Shri Krishna he tells Daruka that you go and call Arjuna as soon as possible. Arjuna comes, and Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, "The time has come for my final departure. You call all my 8 chief queens." Arjuna he rushes to Dwaraka. He brings about the queens, but before he could come back with the queens, Krishna had already left for heaven. It seems. So Arjuna he informs the queens about Krishna's injury. Now all the residents of Dwaraka knew about this. Everyone came to know about this. They rushed to the site. All of them, all the 8 queens also give up their life. The great Yadavas, the father of Krishna, Vasudeva, Ugrasena, Krura, they also did the same thing. Balarama could not bear the sorrow. Caused, he also gave up his life. And Balarama's wife also, she also ended up her wife Revati. Similarly, all the rest of Krishna's family, like Rukmi's daughter, Pradyumna, Usha, Aniruddha, Rukmi's father, Rukmi's daughter, Pradyumna, Usha, Aniruddha, everyone. One after another, everyone left for their heavenly abode. Lastly, Arjuna, he performed the last rite of all the dead ancestors, that is, not ancestors, all the dead Yadavas. Eventually, Dwaraka also got submerged into the ocean. Thus, Krishna, having finished his duties on earth, he left all the sinners behind and he left to Vaikuntha. Now there is one more addition to this. It seems that once now here there is a story Padma Purana tells that Arjuna was called by Krishna, but there is also a reference that after Krishna gets injured, Balarama comes and he lifts him. There is a place in Somnath, today Somnath, Gujarat, wherein Krishna was carried by Balarama and kept him there. So that is also one reference. And finally, Arjuna, after he does this, he does performs all the last rites of the Yadavas. Krishna leaves to Vaikuntham. That's how Krishna Avatara comes to an end. Lastly, with this, the stories of Krishna avatars stop. Next, you have the various rituals of Vishnu worship, that is the Shaligrama worship, then uh, different places of worship like Dwarka, Kashi, Prayag, Naimisharanyam, Mathura, Vrindavana, which are all holy places in praise of Lord Vishnu, and how different idols of Lakshmi Narayana, Krishna, Rama are installed there, how shlokas like Purusha Sutta, the Shodashopachara mantras are chanted, then what kind of offerings are made for Rama, and while chanting any stotra or doing any sacrifice, Purusha Sukta and Sri Suktam, Purusha Suktam and Sri Suktam has to be chanted in praise of Lord Vishnu while doing Vishnu worship. Then certain days of the week are auspicious for Vishnu worship, which the Padma Purana highlights, like the Saturday during eclipse, Amavasya, and so on. So today you can consider like today. Next, the story of Lord Vishnu, Parshurama, and so on is highlighted. That will we cannot finish that today, so we will stop here. Though 5 minutes are there, the next topic is quite big, so we will stop here for today. We continue tomorrow.